Hello, welcome to Beta Feminist Podcast, the podcast where we talk about feminist issues from the perspective of an African woman living in Africa. I'm your resident Beta Feminist host, Ijoma, and today I'll be co-hosting with another Beta Feminist. I have a co-host, guys, and so introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is America.
Okay, we're laughing because I find her name very fascinating. I think she's the first Nigerian that I know, apart from America Ferrara, abroad. I don't think I know any other person named America. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, America, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about choice feminism. And also we're going to be asking the question of if a woman's choice is inherently feminist because she's choosing it.
Okay. So, this topic, choice feminism, is a very controversial topic amongst feminists and amongst women. Actually, there are a lot of times that a woman, obviously whenever we're talking of somebody here we mean a woman, when a woman makes a choice that is destructive to her, but we say, okay, you know what, now when we say we, I mean men say why are you dragging her choice? That's her choice. Isn't feminism about the freedom of women to make choices of their own accord? So why are you people disputing this particular choice? So I think that's what we're going to examine today. We call it choice feminism, where women make some choices that aren't necessarily healthy, that detrimental to them, but they excuse it. They use the umbrella of feminism to excuse it. They say, oh, after all, feminism is about being able to make your choices. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's start. I'm going to ask, okay, it's a conversation, but let me ask, this is a question men actually throw out when we talk about choice feminism. Since it's a person's choice and she's an adult, how does it matter? How is it your business? Let me give an example of choice feminism. Let's say a woman was working, and then after she gave birth and everything, her husband tells her to stop working and stay home and take care of the kids. Yes. And then she comes to the public to say, okay, you know what, I love doing this. I actually stayed home because my husband asked me. And when people say, oh, that's not really a smart decision to make, that's not really a good thing to do, she goes on and say, it's my choice. You people should leave it for me. I'm not complaining. I chose to do this. So the question here is, since it's her choice and she's an adult and she's not really hurting anybody, why is it a problem? How is it our business?
The thing is, when a lot of men and choice feminists talk about choices, they pretend like there are options, like there are alternatives that are within the reach of the woman in that situation.
Yeah.
Let's take your example as an example here, right? A husband asking his wife to quit her job and stay home and take care of the home and the children, all of that, and the woman agreeing and choosing, yes, that's the word, choosing to do this. But what other choices are there, right?
Exactly.
When it's expected of the woman to stay home and have babies and care for her home, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a country like our country, like Nigeria, right? In a country like Nigeria, a woman saying no will definitely bring issues into that marriage. Like, it is certain the husband might start, complaining she's not being submissive, our favorite word to use, submissive, and all of that. And you can say, oh, she can choose to have help and hire someone to take care of the home. But again, you're failing to recognize that there's a spectrum of choice in choice feminism, and that not all families will be privileged to afford help, right?
I like the way you put this. Yes.
To afford help. So the woman has to choose. Now I'm saying the choose. So that it's in quotes.
Yeah.
Right? So the woman has to choose to stay home and take care of her home, right? And you can say, oh, it's because the woman earns less, so she has to choose to stay home so that the husband that earns more can work and advance his career and blah blah blah, make more money for the family. But again, what happens when the woman earns more and she's saying, oh, I want you to stay home? You see posts all over social media, I'm earning 70k, my wife's earning 300k and she expects me to be the one to stay home. Or that's very popular, we're about to get married.
Whose house should we move
yes into? So you see, because it's expected that the man is making the decisions and the man has to, and the woman is expected to be the one to accept those so-called choices.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not saying that families should not be able to tailor like their realities and work with what works for them. So I don't care if it's more practical for the woman to stay home because of the reality at home, right? What I'm against is men and choice feminists. I'm tired of absolving women from the blame.
Of course.
I'm so tired, right? So men and choice feminists saying that these choices that these women they're making are just inherently feminist, right?
Because
and are above, yes, and above critic from feminists, right? Because again, in quotes, it's their choice. So, right? And when we talk about it, we're told to shut up that it's their choice, that there's joy in motherhood. Yes, right? And there's joy in her taking care of her home, and she's now the head.
Oh, yeah.
At
By
home.
submitting, you're now the head. You control your husband.
Yeah, able to twist his head. So, yeah, there's that. And this is them weaponizing the word choice and using it to further subjugate women, right? And you see this with the abortion conversation. It's like pro-life and pro-choice. When a woman actually chooses something, then it's like they want to, how do I put this? They want to decide the kind of choice. Yes.
You make.
Yeah. You make. That's why the conversation of pro-choice and them women saying, "Oh, it's my body. I'm choosing to abort this baby." They're like, no. Then it's not.
It's no longer.
It's no longer a thing about choice. That's how you know how fake this is. How it feels scripted. There are certain choices that are allowable.
Exactly, that's the word. You're allowed to make this choice. I always say that how you know that choice feminism is shit is when because the people always say it's her choice. Isn't feminism about making choices? But how you know it's shit that you don't actually have a choice is what there are repercussions if you don't do that thing you're claiming is your choice.
Yes.
Do you understand? If your husband asks you to if he asks you to stay home and take care of the baby, and okay, let's even assume you actually want to, before you can come out and claim, oh, it's your choice, what happens if
you say
no?
If
you say no, is that marriage still going to be intact? Is it going to walk away? If it's going to walk away and you know that, and you're doing it to preserve your marriage, and you know that there's a repercussion if you say no, then it's actually not your choice. It's like when we're writing WAEC, and they'll be like, okay, the A, B, C, D, E. You don't know, you just pick anyone. If you're told that if you pick A, you're passing. If you pick B, C, D, E, you're failing. Then it's no longer you going to pick A is no longer your choice. It's not like it's not a choice. And when you come out to defend it, oh, it's my choice. No, you were bold into that. You didn't have any room to. You don't have any leverage. You don't have. You were just backboard into that, choosing that choice. Or let me put it that way. It's like that hijab conversation also, where women claim it's their choice. What happens when you refuse to wear a hijab? Are there repercussions? If there are repercussions, then it's no longer your choice.
Yes. And when we're talking about women having to quit their job or choosing to quit their jobs and stay at home, we're just talking about it surface level. What about if this marriage doesn't work out in a country like Nigeria and this woman has to start from the scratch? Now she has stayed at home for years to take care of the children, and now she's having issues. And the justice system is not. Does it favor women in cases like that? Exactly. So now the woman becomes economically disadvantaged because she has to start from the scratch. She's now years behind male counterparts. So here we're just talking about it surface level.
And to build on what you said now, if would that choice still be the same if you were working in somewhere like Canada, where you can go for 1 year paid maternity leave?
Exactly.
When you know that whenever it is you come back from your maternity leave, your job is still there waiting for you. Would that still be your choice?
Yeah.
Because I think, like you said, women, they like soft landing. They know that, okay, if I take a break to breastfeed this child or care for this child, by the time I go back to work, both don't leave me go. They would someone would have taken my, obviously they're not going to pause the work just because of you. As other people would have taken your positions, they would have promoted somebody else, and you'd be like, since this man is giving me this soft landing to stay home, and you pay me, let's say 30K a month, it's my choice. Now, would that choice still be yours if you were in, say, somewhere else that you have an assured job? If you're told that whenever you come back, this job is ready for you, would you still make that choice wholeheartedly? So I think, like, choice feminism should be always critiqued and questioned, because, like we pointed out, it's not really, I don't want to say it's not really their choice, but yeah, I think they choose the I don't say they choose
the wrong choice. No.
They make choices of convenience, choices that
have been laid down for them.
Yes. It's like if you grow up, okay, if while growing up, you people have a family business, and your dad says, oh, you know what, you're going to, this hospital is yours, you're going to be a doctor, blah blah blah, and you grow up and you just be like, you've been told so many times. You won't try
any other thing.
You don't try any other thing. You don't even try to see, maybe I'll make a good lawyer, maybe I'll make a good tech person. You just boom, and then tomorrow you say it's your choice.
It's your choice.
Is it really your choice when you didn't experiment, or you didn't have other options to pick from? For it to be a choice, there should be other options that don't have any malevolent repercussion. You can it has to be A, B, C, all equal.
Yes. So I'm going to end this by reading from an article. This article is Hard Choices by Moira Donegan. So she said, under the rhetoric of choice feminism, gendered humiliations or inequalities get disguised as choice when they are anything but. Yeah. So it's not that women are paid less than men. He will tell you that it's simply because they chose jobs that are less that have less pay. So they don't take into consideration why women are less in that field. Say tech, for example, we are seeing that men are always coming forward to say, oh, women don't want to earn more because they're not interested in tech. But we all know how closed off, until recently, we know how closed off that industry has been. Yeah. Yes, and even when you are there, how condescending, the mansplaining, the this, the that. So also she said, it's not that women are forced to drop out of the workforce when they have kids. He will say that is because they choose to spend time with their adorable little babies instead of working. And they pay no attention to the actual realities, right? When you're playing by the strict rule of choice, then even the most bold-faced and intentional oppression of women can be disguised as volunteerism. Yeah. Choice here is a way of studiously avoiding the central question: what choices do women really have? Okay, to answer your question, this person is an adult, right? Yeah. So how is it our business, right? Well, these things, they do not just remain as your individual choices in most cases, right? A lot of the time it hits us, a lot of other women that just want to live our lives unencumbered by these expectations, right? Yeah. And these expectations, they come as a result of these choices, right, you claim to have made on your own volition, right? Okay. Because of my reality in a country like Nigeria, if I decide to get married to a man tomorrow and the conversation of if I'm going to keep his last name comes up, I might say, oh no, I don't want to keep your last name, especially if I'm not as rich as he is, right? I can say, oh no, I don't want to keep your last name, and then it turns into a big thing, into a big fight, and it's like, oh, but other women are doing this. they are choosing to do this, why can't you choose to do this? And then it leads to issues in our relationship, or maybe the family, society. Even women will tell you, why not just do it? Why not just, other women are doing it? So this your choices, yes, it's my business, because they can affect me. They can affect me too, as a woman.
To add to what you said, I think we've mentioned this before. Okay, the question is, how is it our business? How is it, since the person making the choice is an adult?
Yes.
So, you pointed out, you used the example of
name change.
Name change. Yeah. Okay. There's also the example of cultural practices done when somebody dies, like when a woman loses her husband. At first, the hair thing, cutting hair thing, started off as some women cutting their hair in reverence for their husband, in reverence to their husband. They're like, my husband is my crown. I'm going to let me do this thing to honor him. And from it being there, it was a choice. Some women chose to do it. Some women chose not to do it. But with time, it devolved into something that became mandatory, because if you don't cut your hair for your husband, you're looked upon as somebody, okay, maybe you didn't value him, you value your hair more than him. It became something that wasn't a choice anymore. It became something that was expected. Yeah, if you know your husband loves you, you have to cut. Then from there, from being an expected thing to do, it became mandatory. To the point now that women are held down and razors are, not even clippers. Yeah, razors are used to shave their head
by force.
So that is how choices evolve, and that is
into
why
oppressive things.
Exactly, and that is why they should be questioned. Just like the name change thing. Igbos, as an Igbo woman, I know for a fact that we did not used to do the name change thing. Yeah, it was alien to us till the missionaries came and they started doing that's how they brought their English lifestyle and culture to us. We now started, some women chose to do it, but right now it's no longer a choice. That choice is now mandatory. So that is why it's expected of you. That is why it's no longer, when somebody makes a choice, that choice does not exist in vacuum. It does not exist.
Yes.
There is a ripple effect. It doesn't affect only you. It might spread. It's like what this proverb that they say, when one finger gets oil, it spreads to the other fingers. So it's going to affect other people. Your choice, you might think, is it not just me? But people are going to use you as an example. Your brother-in-law, your neighbors are going, can't you see Mama Kamsi quit her high-paying job to become a stay-at-home mom? Why can't you do it?
Why can't you do it?
Your mother-in-law is saying, people are just going to use it and judge other people, and from time it will be used to oppress other women. So that is why, even though you are an adult and your choice is just for you, it would be critiqued and questioned. Let me ask this, because this is a question a lot of people ask. Is choice feminism harmful?
Yes, choice feminism is harmful. Now let's go back to the hijab conversation, because I think you talked about it when we're answering the first question, right? Yes. And I know we've been talking about this using light examples. So now, because when you talk about things like name change, why not just do it? Or talk about shaving your head when your husband, your hair will grow back, his hair, right? Or they talk about just staying home. It's like you said, a soft landing, something that you're going to be comfortable, comfortable here at home. So why not just do it? Like, these are things that you just look at, you say, okay, it's bad, but not that bad. Yes, not bad. So let's look at a more extreme example of this choice feminism, right? So going back to the hijab conversation, I'm going to ask 3 questions, right? Are there other options? Can these women choose those other options? Do their individual choices as women affect the collective? Now I'm going to try to answer my own questions. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Are there other options? Well, if the other option is alienation from your family or death, trust me, your option is going to be just wearing the hijab, right? Of course. Can these women choose those other options? Again, refer back to my answer to question 1. Say this little girl is born into this family, and all she knows, she's seen all the women around her, they're wearing hijab. She's been taught, she's been indoctrinated right from when she was a little girl, that okay, you need to cover up, you should not show any small part of your hair or this or that, because it's dishonorable. And maybe she chooses, she now decides, where she's growing up, okay, I don't really like wearing the hijab, and she tries to choose another part. If she tries to choose another part, then they can kill her and cover it with honor killing and say, oh, you're bringing dishonor to the family, this, that. So no, these women cannot choose any other option. In most cases anyway, they can't choose any other options. And the last question, do their individual choices as women affect the collective? Yes, it does. Because, okay, the Saudi Arabia thing, I as a woman cannot go to Saudi Arabia now and not wear the hijab, because it's expected of me as a woman to cover up. So do you get? Yeah. So now there are choices, the choices in quotes that they made. I don't know, I feel just bad. It feels wrong me saying they made, but these choices that they think they made are now affecting other women.
Yes. The final subtopic I'd like us to look into is, how do we differentiate a woman's actual choice from a choice she made as a result of the societal expectations placed on women, aka choice feminism? So, like, how can we say that a woman staying at home to take care of her child, how do we know if this is her actual choice? Okay, like you, I think I have some answers to that. Number one is when your decision is not informed by an underlying threat or repercussion. Using this stay-at-home thing, if you decide to stay at home, if you decide to be a stay-at-home mom, or if you don't decide to be a stay-at-home mom, when both decisions are not informed by any underlying threats or repercussions, when you know that whether you choose to stay or not stay, you're not going to lose your marriage, when you know that whatever decision you take will not affect your marriage, your husband is not going to report you to your in-laws are not going to come knocking down at your door, and all of that when you decide to take any of them, when you know that whatever decision you take does not have any underlying repercussion or threat, then that is when you know that this is your choice and not a choice that has already been laid down for you. Then another way to answer it is, the second answer to it is, when both or all of the choices can be taken freely with no pushback. When, like, I think when I was answering the first question, I said if you're writing WAEC and they tell you option A, B, C, D, they give you option A, B, C, D, and they tell you if you pick A, B, C, you're going to fail it. And you now say, oh, I choose D. You choosing D is not really a choice. You have to choose D.
Because you don't want to fail.
Exactly, because you don't want to fail. So, like here, when all the options you have can be taken freely with no pushback, when you have A, B, C, and D, and all of them, and you can weigh them equally, and there is no blockage at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Yes. So when you know that, okay, I can decide to stay home, I can do this, I can anyone I want to do, they all have the same ending. There's no one that at the end of the tunnel there's a man with a knife or something. So
that's your in-laws.
Yeah, exactly. So you can apply that same rhetoric to other scenarios, like the hijab thing, America, the hijab thing you said.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you know a woman is wearing a hijab because of her choice? Well, when she can decide to wear it or not wear it, and there will not be a threat or repercussion. Like if let's say a woman travels to Sweden or travels to, I'm using European countries not because they are better, but I think they have a form of protection for their women. Yeah. So when you travel to, let's say, a place where nobody knows you're a Muslim, a place nobody is going to honor kill you for not wearing hijab, a place where nobody knows you and you still feel the need to wear your hijab, then that is your choice.
Yes.
That is not a choice feminist thing. That is your choice. That shows you want to wear it everywhere. When you leave Saudi Arabia, if you're a woman that has been under shackles of hijab, and you finally leave Saudi Arabia and go to a place where nobody knows you're a Muslim, nobody knows you, you start your life afresh, and you still feel the need to wear that hijab, then that is your choice. Nobody is there that is going to threaten you, to kill you, to lock you up for not wearing the hijab. This can be applied to almost everything that we come here to fight about. Yes. The name change, the cutting of the hair. Yeah, when you can cut. When I lost my mom, I remember my sister. I cut my hair. I've always been on low cuts. My sister wanted to cut hers, and I told her, or they asked her to cut hers, and I told her, "Do you want to cut it?" And she said no, and I said that's it. If they had pressured her, obviously she would have cut her hair and said, "Oh, it's her choice.
It's my choice.
I'm doing it to honor my mother." But we both know she was
reluctant.
Exactly, she was blackballed into it. She was sort of pushed or not. And the hint is always just there. It's just subtle. Yeah, it's not like they are forcing you. The ones they force are the wives. But
the wives,
it's the wives they force. But for other people, for women,
this night small things you be hearing everywhere.
Like, is your hair more important to you than your mother? Those small. If you decide to actually go through with it and cut your hair, you tell people, "Oh, I chose to honor my mother," but that's not necessarily true. When you can make those choices without any pushback, without anybody looking at you, and making snide comments and everything.
And quickly, I just want to talk about, because I talked about what you call the spectrum of choice.
Yeah.
In choice feminism. Under that, we have privileges, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when we were brainstorming, we were talking about a woman like Alakija saying it is my choice to cook.
Yeah.
Without talking about the fact that she is rich and can afford certain things that makes that cooking easy for her.
Yeah.
Compared to a poor woman saying, "Okay, today I've been cooking. Okay, today I am choosing not to cook." See, she had been choosing to cook, but now she is also choosing not to cook. But now that is a problem. The man can beat her, say, "Oh, you're not submissive." This Alakija woman is choosing to cook for me, choosing to cook for her husband,
despite how rich
she is. Yeah, so I want to talk about just the spectrum of choice and how privileges also affect this. So it's easy for privileged women to claim that certain things that hold women back are their choices.
Definitely.
When in reality, your choice is okay. Let's also use the example. I think this will make it clearer. When we're talking about things like cooking, people are like, "What is in cooking now?" Yeah. So let us use hijab.
Yeah.
You can see women that go to places like, maybe they relocate to places like America, and then you see them in videos, a lot of YouTube videos saying things like, "Oh, my hijab is my this, it's my this, it's my that. I'm choosing to wear this." Without paying attention to the women, without even recognizing that their realities as privileged women, being able to have relocated is different from maybe their other poor third cousins or so in those Muslim,
Pakistan,
Arab countries,
Arabia,
and they keep on saying choice, when they know that if they were not in a country like America or a country like maybe Sweden, like you said, they can't make that choice.
Obviously.
They can't make, so they keep on pushing that it's my choice, and that is how it's very harmful. Choice feminism is harmful to women, it's detrimental, and we should be able to critique these so-called choices.
Yeah. And I remember, I think when the hijab conversation was going on, the princesses of all these Arabian countries were like, "Oh,
it's my choice.
It's my choice." See? And obviously, you're going to say it's your choice because you benefit from this system.
Yes, from this system. Yeah, they benefit from the oppression, so you're not going to fight it.
You live in billion-dollar mansions. You're not going to come out and say throw away the hijab. You're not going to come and dispute a system that has benefited you for years and will keep on benefiting you and your children when you're gone. So you're obviously going to come out and express your regard for the hijab. But that the worker, the farmer in the streets that has to walk with that hijab under the hot sun, all of them, the woman that can't travel without the hijab, all of them, do they have the same realities like you? So I understand exactly what you're saying, because when we talk about this choice feminism thing, like when people say, "Oh, look at Dangote's daughter got married to, let's say, Alakija's son, and she's answering Alakija's son's name. Or look at this girl, Buhari's daughter got married to Dangote's son and is answering that. And why can't you change your name?
Yeah.
Well, these are two rich people marrying themselves, and they know that.
So, it's nothing to them.
It's not, yeah, obviously. So,
and even if tomorrow they can choose to maybe not wear the hijab, they have things protecting them.
Obviously,
they have their wealth, they have their class. Yeah, so those are the layers and the privileges on the spectrum of choice that these women choice feminists men do not address.
Yes, and I like the part where you said women should also be held accountable because
definitely.
Yes, we know men make this rules, but women are the gatekeepers. Women are the people that will tell you it's their choice. Admitting that is not your choice means you're a puppet. You're admitting you're a puppet in your marriage, in your relationship. You're admitting that you don't have as much control as you think you have, and you know that when you start questioning it, it falls apart.
Yeah, and that's why women also try to say the neck controls the head.
That is a totally different topic for another day, because go into it. Oh God, I think it's something you used to give yourself hope. You get, like when I'm sorry to use this word, but like when house will be like, no, you see, if you listen to the master, he will not beat you as much. And if you're a good servant, if you're a good slave, you get everything you want. Why do you want freedom? And that is what you used to give yourself hope. Like, I'm a slave, but let me use this one to be giving myself hope. I think women know this. When you say, when you're the neck,
you're controlling the head.
I want to be the head. Let man come at the neck and control me. Because it never goes both ways. That's how you know that it's oppression. It never go. You never see a man saying, my wife is the head, but I control her because I'm the neck. They know that head is head.
Oh yeah, right.
So this has been a very, this has been a very interesting topic, an episode, and I really loved this is an episode that you can keep on talking about because there are so many
examples.
There's so many, and these are things that we see every day, things that are realities every day. So I love it. I love that we had this discussion, and I love that we constructed it like this. So
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. And this was really, really fun. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And this is where we sign off for today's episode. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Bitter Feminist Podcast. Follow us at Bitter Feminist Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You can drop your contributions, questions, or even hot takes on any of our social media platforms. I'm still your host, Ijoma. See you on our next episode. Bye.